quit VShoujo today.
はい。
This is very wrong.
はい。
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have no clue what that was about, I honestly don't blame you. But for context, that was a very large VTuber quite literally quitting the company she worked for midstream in front of the CEO. And that is just one, albeit hilarious, part of a massive scandal within the VTubing community, involving a shady company, unpaid talent, and an alleged $500,000 of charity money missing. This is peak esports controversy, except this time, it's anime girls. Buckle up. To fully understand this story, we need to start with some history about our main subject, a massive VTuber named Ironmouse, who introduces herself as, quote, your cringe demon queen. I don't know what the hell that means, but I am an outsider. What I do know is that she usually gets up to what I would assume is classic VTuber shenanigans, playing games, chatting shit with her audience, and singing. A lot of singing. Now, in this instance, there's actually some lore to that voice you hear, which is very important to this story. You see, before she started streaming, Ironmouse originally wanted to become an actual opera singer. Unfortunately, she was diagnosed with common variable immunodeficiency, an immune disorder that, in very simple terms, makes fighting off infections very, very difficult, leaving those affected with it to live rather complex lives. So, as someone who, for their own safety, had to remain relatively isolated, Ironmouse eventually found an interest in VTubing, partially for the anonymity. And in 2017, her persona was born and Ironmouse began streaming. Fast forward to 2020, she was gaining considerable traction on Twitch as a creator during the platform's big boom. This led to her signing with a VTuber agency called VShoujo, who was already repping big names in the community. Just like traditional streaming, VTubers often join agencies to help with reach, merchandising, exposure, production, you name it. To no surprise, a lot of these organizations can be pretty shitty. Bad communication, financial irresponsibility, and predatory contracts that result in creators losing or not obtaining ownership of their personas. There have been several instances where VTubers who have left their agencies are forced to start from scratch and create new characters because they don't actually own them. But for a while, it seemed like VShoujo was different. Marketed as talent first, its creators were able to keep the money they made from streaming as well as the rights to their IP. From what I could gather, VShoujo only took percentages from things like partnerships and merchandising. And that seems like a pretty solid exchange. The issue is that that model might have been unsustainable, but for a while, Ironmouse was killing it on Twitch with VShoujo, rising as one of the most prominent faces in the scene. And as she grew, she continued to raise awareness for her own illness and other immune disorders, often holding charity streams for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Eventually, Ironmouse started participating in the subathon craze, where she would incorporate her charity streams, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years. And in September of last year, Ironmouse held a massive subathon, a 39-day-long stream that made her the most subbed to streamer on Twitch, surpassing Kaisanat, all while raising over $500,000 for that charity in the process. Quite the accomplishment, right? Well, fast forward to this past Monday when Ironmouse released this statement.
I am leaving VShoujo. Unfortunately, I recently found out that for the past couple of months, I have been misled by VShoujo. With the information that I currently have, I believe that I am owed a significant amount of funds, which I have not been paid. And most importantly, the thing that hurts me the most is that the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which is the most important charity to me, and also the reason why I'm here today, is owed over $500,000 from VShoujo.
Pretty damn big accusations to make, and to be fair, Ironmouse said that there was a lot more to it she just couldn't say for legal reasons. But it's the type of scandal that, if true, could ruin a company. But we didn't even need the proof for that to happen. What followed Ironmouse's video and resignation is what can only be described as a mass exodus, with at least 12 other creators leaving as well. Now, some left in solidarity with Ironmouse, others left for unspecified reasons, but a few others also claimed that they too were missing payments. But I would expect that number to be larger given the amount of streamers who claimed that their termination was already in the works before the Ironmouse situation. One of those creators was Japanese streamer Keisan, the clip I showed you at the beginning where she quit on stream in front of the CEO of the Japanese arm of the company. He was on her stream for what I can only assume was damage control, claiming that VShojo Japan was actually doing well financially.
入ってくるお金と出ていくお金の数字のみを見たら、日本の支部っていうのはうまくやっていたってことですね。
I quit VShojo today.
はい。
はい、31日予定でしたけど、今日辞めます。
払っていたとしても、ケイソンに払っていたとしても大丈夫だったっていう感じですね。
Tell me you could have paid me?
そういうことです。
Then where is it? Where is it? I want it now. Did you just die? What?
Yeah.
What?
If that wasn't bad enough, former creators who left well before this scandal have since come out with their own accusations, including Nanners, who said that she wasn't paid for a stream that she got f***ing swatted during.
My expectations for them were very low when I left. Like, even back then I was like, I had some glimmer of hope that maybe they'd realize like, oh man, we really f***ed up, we really mismanaged things, we gotta turn things around and actually look out for the talent. I was like, you know what? I went through all that, but at least I'll get paid. And wouldn't you know it, like one of the many things that they had failed to pay me for over the course of literal years was that stream, the one that I got swatted during.
And others have come out saying that they've had to remain silent about their own issues with the organization due to NDAs that they were forced to sign. Now, you'd think it would be nearly impossible for a company to bounce back, not just from the sheer amount of accusations, but the fact that they just lost the majority of their workforce. And you would be correct. Yesterday, amidst the growing controversy, the company's founder and CEO, Gunrun, broke silence and announced that VShojo would be shutting down. In the statement, he admits to mismanaging the company, claiming that their generous talent-first revenue model was in fact not sustainable, and that they had drained the $11 million in funding they originally obtained. He also acknowledges that some money spent to keep the company afloat was raised by talent, but that he only later found out that that money was supposed to be used for charity. Sure. The response to this statement was overwhelmingly negative, with many fans calling bullshit about his lack of knowledge regarding what that money was intended for. Even their former creators, some of which just quit, chimed in asking why they weren't informed about the company's financial issues the moment they surfaced. But overall, most people were just stunned that an agency with this much talent failed so spectacularly. But honestly, if you have paid any attention to esports, incompetence and greed is usually going to be your answer. As for all the creators, they are now back to being independent. But honestly, that might be the best, given how often stuff like this happens in the space. As far as Ironmouse goes, things actually end on a positive note. Listen, the reason I brought up her whole backstory and connection with immune disorders was just to highlight how much of a betrayal this truly was. Yeah, the agency personally owed her money, but they also owed an incredible sum of money to a charity that has been such a big part of her platform for years now. One that has directly affected her life and potentially saved it, which is likely why her advocacy didn't skip a beat. Following her announcement, her resignation, Ironmouse began another charity stream for the Immune Deficiency Foundation, and in 48 hours, she raised over $1.1 million.
Oh my god, we hit 1.1 million? My face broke. I'm sorry.
So yeah, on paper, this was a cautionary tale of mismanagement, greed, and corporate rot infecting a space that was supposed to be fun, f***ing weird, and creator-driven. But if there's one thing I would take away from all this, it's not the failure of a singular company. It's the resilience of online communities. Ironmouse turned a devastating betrayal into a rallying cry, not just for herself, but for the very community that she represents. I think that's the real story here. Not the collapse of VShojo, but the fact that creators are bigger than the platforms that often fail them.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring the notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit us up on our X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.